So what is up, guys? Turns out the video I posted had no freaking volume, so we're gonna have to reshoot this again. So let's get this started. So Genesis was revealed today, the witches, and it turns out they don't have the can be used in other deck things. So we're gonna have to wait to see if they allow it, or they're just not gonna do it at all, or do any mixed clans with Genesis and Shadow Witches. You know, you're allowed to do that in the TCG, but you're not in this game, sadly. So let's see what Mint does. Mint, when this unit attacks, if it is Legion, Soul Blast 3. So that's good if it is Legion, so that's good. So this effect is continuous once you're in Legion. Soul Blast 3 gain 10,000 power, and all of your front row witches gain 5,000. That's actually really good. Alrighty, and it has a once per turn effect. If you have another witch in your center column, CB1 to Soul Charge 3. We're going to discuss that a little bit further, why that's not going to be very helpful. Black Snake Witch Chicory. During your turn, if your Vanguard is a bitch, this unit gets 3,000 power. Jesus, all these witches have to change their names. Stop calling each other. This isn't the female fight club, man. But not too bad because, again, it's a 12K, and 12Ks are always good to hit over magic numbers. And we have Witch of the White Rabbit Cardamon. When this card is put into your drop zone, if you have a Vanguard that is a bitch, or as you all like to know them as witches, Counterblast 1 to call this card, and it gets 4,000 power until the end of the turn, which is actually really good. This gains 4,000, not 3, 4. That's really good for a lot of reasons. This goes higher than Raven. Raven only goes up to 12, where that 5K boost added to this goes over the cross-ride base numbers. If you're fighting cross-ride decks, you understand why this card is important to call in certain situations if you're without triggers. So let's now fully dive into some of this simping. Obviously, I love where witches are coming from. We've had witches in the past ever since Genesis started out with Raven, Melissa, Grape, Orange, and obviously everyone's favorite, Miss Cider. Cider is going to be heavily used. Heavily. It's going to be very heavy. Trust me. Cider is going to be used a lot because you're going to be able to put your G2s back into the soul to be used for multi-attacks. And it turns out having this Cardamon acts as another Raven. So now we have 8 possible Raven plays in the soul. Now the thing is the soul charging. That was the next thing we had to discuss. So CB1, as you can tell, it's pricey. CB1 is always pricey for a lot of reasons. CB1 is to possibly soul charge the G2s that you need to perform a multi-attack is situational. Certain things you got to keep in mind is unless these Genesis witches are getting some sort of type of countercharger, then I have some utility with this because technically this once per turn effect isn't bound by Legion, and all I need is a back row witch, and you gain the special ability to Soul Charge 3, and so on and so forth. So the thing is, I like where witches are coming from, especially with Cardamon. Cardamon being another type of Raven means you have many options to Soul Charge your multi-attacks. The only issue is your CB. Obviously, this deck is always CB heavy. Just like Pale Moon is CB heavy, this deck will be CB heavy as well with a lot of your combo plays. Another reason why I like this card a lot, especially in Zero's format, is the 5,000 booster. These are the cards I like where you don't need a trigger to swing, and that's always the best part, especially when it comes to 4th damage pressure versus 3 damage pressure. But obviously, you could get 3 damage pressure if your opponent doesn't hit a trigger, which means all your attacks go through. Which is good, but you still need CB2 to call 2 units. And if you played Cider, those units can get recharged so you can do it again, so you're never without intercepts. So technically speaking, Genesis will be able to perform a very strong intercept game once the pieces are set. And that is good. The trigger lineup can be very beneficial to them as well when it comes down to certain plays. And by that, I mean stand trigger. Stand triggers probably be your best bet due to the fact, A, all your units are gaining 5,000 power. So if you stand, you're automatically smacking no matter what happens. So that's good. And if you do, that's 2 more attacks on Vanguard from there once you get the multi-attack in. So you get 3 attacks on Vanguard, knocking out 3 PGs, so on and so forth. This clan in particular, this is another strong reveal to me. I love this card. I love what it can do, especially with a lot of the old sets pushing in their weight if needed. But we know we're definitely going for some Melissas, and we're definitely using some Ciders. The best way to try to soul charge is going to come from maybe 1 orange. If you have 1 orange, you soul charge 2. Maybe that type of soul charge. But again, Genesis is going to be tight again on their lineup of cards you want to use in the deck to make it feel beneficiary. because you can use Melissa and you can call Melissa. Melissa can come out in the front row with a 15k. Say your soul charge is not looking too good, but you have a Melissa ready, so you call Melissa and now your multi-attack is prepped. The biggest thing here is always it depends on where you're at in CB, and if they do possibly get a counter charger, we'll wait and see. But let's focus on the fact that we are CB heavy here. So part one is the Soul Charge 3 for CB1 is way too pricey because, again, we're wasting one CB that can cost us a multi-attack. But yes, it charges our soul, but it might not be enough, depending. Obviously, our soul can get charged properly with just some Ciders, and this CB would mean nothing. That's why Cider is very important, because Cider's going to be able to prep this pretty damn well, in my opinion. And if we Soul Blast, if we re-ride and possibly Soul Blast the G2 that's under here, or we wrote a G2 first, and there's still a G2 in the deck we can Legion with, and then we can Soul Blast it with a couple of the G2s, set up the multi-attacks. At least you have another way to Legion this. Like I said, Legioning for Witches is going to be technically tricky due to the fact the G2 line is going to be pretty tight, because depending on how many Ravens and depending how many of the Cardamons you run, obviously you're going to want more Cardamons than Ravens, if I can be honest with the ratio there, because Cardamon gains 4,000, and that 4,000 can beat out cross-ride numbers during a mint combo play, which is good. Raven can't beat that out. Only Cardamon can, which is the reason why I think they gave her that 4K boost, to feel like you don't need Raven anymore. But obviously we're going to be using Raven no matter what, because it increases our odds of having more multi-attack units. So like I said, you CB1 to Soul Charge 3 is... Maybe if it says Soul Charge 3, if you Soul Charge 3 triggers, return them back to the deck. Like something like that, the way things go, but we'll see. Witches do get a starter, I think. Genesis actually got a new Forerunner, but we'll wait to see how they translate that into Zero's format. But again, another strong unit that has been revealed, because in Genesis, they're all about getting those multi-attackings. The Soul Blast 3 is a huge difference, because most Genesis decks can't Soul Blast 3 until LB4. Now that we're in Legion, we could Soul Blast really fast and get these combo plays off early if need be. But again, keep in mind, if you pull them off early, you gotta make sure you have the CB left to keep performing those combo plays. With every 2 CB, you set up 2 multi-attacks like you're doing a Raven, like you're doing any type of Pale Moon play in a certain fiasco, certain situation. Like I said, it'll depend. That's where Cider comes in, because Cider's going to be there every time you draw Cider, every time you draw a Raven or the G2. You increase your chances of actually having that extra unit in the soul. I don't think we'll ever be using this effect unless it's a situational CB where, like, I need to Soul Charge the 3, I don't have any of my multi-attackers, apparently, even though you should, if you're playing correctly and you have all your Ciders and you Cidered your G2s that you played on the field. I think you'll be okay. I really can't see you screwing that up. Period. Just saying. But yes, you can definitely run like a stand deck with this if it came down to it. Like I said, CB heavy, if you're going to push really hard and you actually do push hard and you get them to fit damage, you're going to want as much CB as you can to finish off, or a stand trigger to really sink the play. That's like the one thing I notice. Things is, you always got to be prepared for certain situations, but the other reason why I do like Mint is because it's not a trigger-reliant deck. Well, obviously there's ways to get to your triggers, but it's not a trigger-reliant deck due to the fact you already gave your units 5,000 power, you're hitting over the magic number with just a booster, so if you call Melissa, Melissa will have 10k already, and whatever unit's in the front, you know they're smacking face, especially if it's the 12k or the 13k, you know that's swinging over 26 regardless, because what Mint gives is good for multi-attacking pressure, and the Soul Blast 3 is just a beautiful thing to see in Genesis in general. So like I said, this once per turn effect, the CB1 Soul Charge 3, is going to really come down to if your soul doesn't look good. Like it looks like crap. Like how are you going to use it? Couple things. Could you side tech a Nyx in a sense? And by side teching, I mean you kind of could, but not really. But if you felt kind of special with the Soul Blast 3, because Nyx doesn't have to be Legion to Soul Blast 3 to draw a card. So say you were trying to draw a card with Nyx, you get it, but she won't be Legion, so she won't get a crit, but at least you drew a card. That's also a situation, but keep in mind witches do get one more Legion, and it was a double rare that had an effect like Angelica, where you look at the top 4, add 2 cards with witches in their name, and they come to your hand. which I believe, if witches do get a PG, that card's going to be really beneficial for you at the end of the day. And if that Legion is going to be coming, which I'm pretty sure it will, or probably get revealed tomorrow, keep in mind, obviously the ratio, you're really going to be testing a lot of ratios with the deck in general, and that's what makes Genesis a great clan, a great deck, because you're going to be playing a lot of ratios with it just to find the right amount to swing face. Anyways, guys, that's all we have for you today. Thanks for watching me simp over some more simps. At least if I simp over Genesis, I don't go to jail because of the FBI. Duos and Genesis are really good, but I'd rather stick to my baby girl, the Genesis. They've done so much for me with Minerva, and I appreciate the goddess's blessing. So let's keep it real with Mint here. Keep that multi-attacking pressure without trigger, so we can always swing face at Vanguard, which is always a solid slam dunk in Wolf Thunder Ranger's playbook of hitting face. Y'all be good. Y'all stay safe. I'll see you all another time. Peace.